Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of For the Love of Writing. I am here with Besu Tadesse. I'm very honored to have you on today. You are the first person from the book convention, My Bloody Valentine, to be on here. So welcome. And I you were probably the one of the first people I think I talked to because you were across from me.
Yes, I remember seeing you and you had your I think you had a half table and I had a half table.
Yeah,
And we were right next to the door and I think it was like 5 degrees that day. I think it topped out at 10.
yeah. It was by the middle of it, it was the wind chill was negative 25. And
Yeah.
my wife was like, "Can you go get us pizza?" And I'm like, "Oh." And I toughed it out and did it. Oh yeah, that was getting all the books in there that day and everything was it was hell. Um
No. Yeah, it was tough. It was really, really tough.
oh yeah. I so one of the first things I love the routine I keep of this podcast. First thing I'm going to ask you is how old were you when you got into writing and what got you into it?
So there's a few questions of that, or a few answers to that. When I really initially started liking to write was around middle school. Um, I used to write a lot of short stories. I would say even before that, I wrote a short story in like the third or fourth grade that ended up winning a competition.
Oh,
And it was about a kid who always got into trouble and then found his way on a rocket ship that went to the moon. And then they had to send a rocket ship back. And the whole story was out of this world. And that was like my first big
oh
taste
wow.
of, yeah. And then middle school, I used to write a lot of like really weird, like science fiction-y type of stories. But everyone kept telling me I was weird. And I ended up not writing short stories like that for a long time. And I didn't start picking up like fiction writing or short story writing until I got to like my mid 30s.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
I mean,
wow.
I was still doing more artistic stuff. Mostly it was learning the saxophone and playing music. And that was kind
Yeah.
of my music was kind of the thing I was doing. And I started picking writing back up when I got to my mid 30s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That that actually I can resonate with that.
Yeah.
I started when I was like 9 or 10. And
Mhm.
yeah, I was always doing, artsy kind of things. And then when I was in my like mid to late 20s, I my wife encouraged me to start writing again because she didn't even know I wrote.
Oh.
Yeah, she had no idea I wrote, and when she found out, she's like, "You got to start writing." She's like, "That's amazing." But yeah, I love that you that whole out of this world thing. I like that. That reminds me of Devour the Rich. That's I don't know why, but it does. Now that's an anthology you're in, or is that you wrote that yourself?
It's an anthology, as
Okay.
in with a lot of different authors. I think that was one of I got accepted into two different anthologies, and that was one of them. Around the same time, I got it into another one. So
Oh, okay.
it was like I had twins for my first my first acceptance.
Okay. Now you had a lot of books on that table. What
Yeah,
genre do you write?
mostly horror, dark fiction, speculative fiction. Those are my main genres to write in. And I've proliferated a lot of short stories. So what you saw at My Bloody Valentine was a lot of the short stories that I've been accepted in the last couple of years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I was gonna say Cassandra O'Sullivan.
Yes.
Probably not gonna say the
Cassandra.
other part of her last name right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cassandra Sullivan Satire. Yeah.
she said one of the books that she's in with you, she said was on your table. And that's I like that. That's awesome. That you guys even like collaborated in a way.
So it's funny.
Um
It's actually two of them.
oh,
So so she compiled and edited one of the books. She didn't write one that was in it, but it's her. she's the chief editor of that anthology. So it's called Dark and Dreary. So
Yeah.
it's all like basement horror, like everything that's really dark, what's underneath the surface, all that sort of stuff. And so she put that together. But then she wrote one for another anthology we were part of called A Chronicle of Horrors.
Yeah.
And so that's one, AC Hassenauer was the editor for that. And that's all about horror in different decades. So it goes from like the 1860s until the 2030s. So this big
Okay.
span of time that even
Wow.
includes like a future story.
That's I feel like that's difficult to do that. Like that's gotta
Yeah.
wow.
It's a very great concept. Um, and I've only gotten through a couple of stories on that one too, and it's really like they're really good. It's really, really fascinating to see just kind of like how we understood history in that time.
Yeah.
And then being able to just like create sort of a dark fiction story around it.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm collaborating myself right now with an artist well with a writer in Ohio, and we're a little over 100 pages in. When I went to that convention, him and I had maybe started it like 2, 3 days before the convention,
Mhm.
and I don't know, we had like maybe not even 10 pages, and now we're over 100 pages in. We've just been flying through it. It's a lot of fun.
That's
Oh yeah.
great.
He keeps saying to me, he's like, we'll probably put it out in October. And I'm like, I'm aiming for May. I'm
Oh,
like,
you're really pushing.
oh yeah, I'm one of those authors. I like to get going and try to, if I can get a book out or two books out a year, I'm happy. I try not to force it, but
That is a hefty push, man. I'm trying to get one every 2 years. That's really that's a lot of
part of it is a few of the things I'm working on right now, like that high school hell one that was at my table. I'm working on a second book of that, and it's only like 140 pages.
okay.
So I could have that written in like a few months and then go, once the editing and everything. But yeah, it's like what you did with like collaborating with other people. I'm trying to also do that too because I find like I can get more books out that way. Like if I collaborate with somebody, they're writing too, and
Yeah.
it's going by a lot faster. I enjoy that working with other authors. I like that you do that. Going to that book convention, I don't know. It was like it really opened my eyes.
Yeah, and it's cool too because so when I the first one I went to AuthorCon Scares That Care a couple years back, and I just went to attend it. I just wanted to see, what it was. And then the next year after that I was a vendor there, but I
Yeah.
had met so many people at that convention that I started people were just giving me information about other ones to go to. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're in Maryland. You should go to this, and this." And I went to halfway to Halloween. That's how I ended up meeting. I met William Gray there. I met Cassandra Celia, so also selling, and then I met Harry Carpenter, who ran the event, and LR Stazak was the one who got me connected to all those folks. So like that got me connected to Halfway to Halloween, which got me connected to Fright Reads, which then got me connected to all these different things.
Oh
And
yeah.
so you plug into a couple of these places, and the people are, you meet a lot of really, really great, um, very warm, very um, generous people who give a lot of that information, and they give a lot of really, really great advice. And if you just take that advice and run with it, you kind of end up really connecting to a lot of people in the community.
Yeah.
So it's been very helpful. And so with only I put out my first novella, my first book was in 2022, and it's not even been 4 years. And like it's been,
Oh wow.
writing a lot of things and connecting. Yeah, I haven't been connected in the community that long, but you meet a lot of people who are just as enthusiastic and just excited as you are. Um, and then you end up seeing them over and over and over, and it always feels like some type of mini reunion every time you do it.
Yeah. My what I like about what you're doing, that I should have done a lot sooner. I spent my time just writing the books and
Mhm.
really afraid to advertise them. And I've written six novels, and over
Yeah.
since 2017, I've written six. And
Yeah.
my daughter being born really slowed down my writing. And but now I'm back to it. I've got a novel I put out at the end of 2024, and I think I've sold maybe 70 books in the entire time with what's on Amazon and this one book convention. And I
Yeah.
think altogether I've sold, yeah, like 60, 70 books probably I've sold, um, which really isn't a lot. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, so hearing that your first novella was 2022 and like you said you sold 20 books at that at My Bloody Valentine. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, it takes a while. Like the ones that I was selling, 6 books, 7 books here.
Yeah.
So not a ton of volume. And same thing, I wasn't really pushing it. And I still kind of don't push it as much as I should be. So I lean very much on going to the conventions to sell the books and get them out there.
Yeah.
Um, my my other big thing is trying to get connected to bookstores. So I'm kind of working on some things in the back on like sort of the administrative back end part of it because I
Yeah.
would really like to start getting things into my local bookstore. And I'm also I don't know where you live, but particularly where I am, I'm sandwiched, not sandwiched, but I'm in between DC and Baltimore, both of which
Oh,
have
okay.
pretty rich um they have very rich indie author scenes.
Yeah.
And even if you're not necessarily um like a lot of those places will take, they want to take you if you've been, picked up by like a publisher, even if it's like a small press publisher that's local. But there's a bunch of indie bookstores that will say like, "Hey, we want to carry your book," or even you go to a Barnes and Noble locally around here and say like, "How can I get the books on the shelves?" And it's like, "Well, we actually have a local author section that we sometimes stock every once in a while, but you have to make sure that it's set up correctly, that we're able to order it, and all those sorts of things." And so I'm working on that right now to make it easier for my local bookstores to just carry the books,
Yeah.
and hopefully that'll be a way to kind of on the back end sort of push that as well.
That is I think this podcast right here with you, this episode is the most information and advice I think I've gotten. And
I, I like
and
to just push what people tell me. I just want to push it back to everybody else. I
well,
don't want to,
thank you. I thank you. I
hold
appreciate
that
it.
stuff.
I've gotten a lot. I've already gotten a lot out of this. I live in Rochester, New York.
Oh, okay.
So like
I
an
went to
hour
school in
from Can
Ithaca.
yeah,
Yeah.
I live like an hour from Canada. And
Yeah. Oh, I know it.
so it was almost a 5 hour drive to get to all the way down to Port Jervis.
Okay.
And oh, the drive back home was no more fun than the drive there. I especially
Was it?
in the weather.
Yeah, it was about 5 hours for me too. I ended up staying the night because
Me too.
I knew driving in, -2 degree weather was going to be a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did
Um,
you stay at the Hampton Inn?
no. I actually stayed in this like little spot in Milford. So in
Oh.
Pennsylvania, it's right across the bridge.
Oh, okay. I would say I stayed at the Hampton Inn.
Okay.
Um, yeah, oh, I love going. That was the like best day of my author life I've ever had. We were
It
there
was it was fun. The energy was great.
we were there from 8 a.m. till after 5, and when my wife and I left, she goes, we've been here like over 8 hours, and I was like, oh wow, it flew by.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
I
they
love it.
just moved on.
Yeah. So I want to know, well, whatever you're comfortable. I don't want you to tell me like the whole stories,
Mm.
because obviously you want people to want to buy them. Tell me like about your first novella and about your books and all that good stuff.
Okay, so my first novella is called The Ghosts of Poplar Valley. It takes place in a somewhat fictionalized Georgia. It starts off as a very standard, like kids go off into a camp. They're celebrating the end of high school and graduation. Bad things happen. They try to get home. Worse things happen. It's basically a slasher for most of it, and then becomes a ghost story towards the end of it. A friend of mine described it. He said, if Stephen King had wrote "I Know What You Did Last Summer," it would be this book.
Oh,
Yeah.
I uh
So,
I like Stephen King's older stuff, so that
yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah. And so this is it explores a lot of like Jim Crow era South and a lot of the fallout from that and the
Oh,
history
okay.
behind that. And so it has, it starts in these fictional towns with very real events.
Yeah,
And then it follows the final girl, so to speak.
yeah,
Um, Although she's not the only one that survives it, but she's kind of really the only one that's, kind of dealing with the process of it. And it deals with her processing it after it all happens. Like it goes into her adult life and like what she had to deal with after everything that went on. And then sort of just goes on to even more like ghost story stuff. It has this other like lingering mystery that comes behind it and sort of all resolves very, very much at the end. So it's a lot of different themes. It's a lot of different stuff that's going on.
it's you said it's called The Ghost of Poplar Valley.
Yes,
I gotta read that. That sounds like is that like that's like a racial horror or
I guess you could call it that.
I like that.
I never considered that subgenre of like anything really. It just feels like it just gets lumped into a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah,
Although I will say that, so I had the idea for the story many years ago, and I was like, I don't know, like I might want to put it out there, but I don't know if people are going to be really into it. Like, is that something that's there? And then I told my friends about it. I think like at a New Year's dinner once, and I was like, you should, this is what the idea is. And I'm thinking about like getting it out there. And then a couple months later, I went to go see Get Out in theaters.
yeah,
And like it's not the same story, but it was the type of story that
same vibe.
inspired me to like it lit the fire to be like, oh, I
Yeah,
could actually do this. Like this is a real thing I can get done. Um, and then finally, after so many years, I finally got it done. It got kind of slow, and then I had my kid, and then COVID happened. And it was interesting because when COVID happened, between COVID happening and then my kid being born, both of those really struck a chord of saying like you need to get this done. And COVID, because everything was shut down completely, and I had been laid off from my job like 3 weeks before everything shut down due to COVID. So
yeah,
like my company was like, we don't need you, laid off my entire team, and then
yeah.
I was just at home. Um, and then COVID shut everything down completely. And then I was like, I got all this time. I spend all day, like with my wife and my kid, and we're just like going out. And he had just turned 1, so he's just kind of like, stumbling around out in the at the park while we're just like walking every day. And I was like, I've got all this time, and I also knew that I wanted to accomplish something that I knew he would read at some point. Like I want him, I did I collected all the different albums and all the different work that I had done
Yeah.
because I want to keep a compendium of that for him in the future when he's old enough to actually care. And maybe he wants to go and start exploring it. And I wanted to get that book done because I want to be like, I want him to read this one day when he's got the stomach for it. Um, and see that like his dad accomplished like writing this thing, which I'm glad I did because now he's sort of showing a lot of creative spirit and a lot of creative juice.
Yeah.
Um, he's almost 7 at this point. So he clearly shows that he has some inclination towards dancing and music and art and science and all these wonderful things that are there. Um, and so I'm glad that I have something at least like if nothing else were if none of my other writings were to survive and something happens to them, he at least has that to show that, his dad was able to do it. And then maybe at some point he'll look at it and be like, maybe I could write a book. And then he just goes and does it.
That's really inspiring.
Yeah.
My daughter's about to be 7 in May, and
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, and she loves aerial arts and gymnastics and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
she's only 6 and she's performed in front of an audience like by herself with no one helping her on a stage.
Wow.
And yeah, and she like got like top prize and I was just in shock because there were adults performing too. And I told her I was like the drive you have for this reminds me of I'm like of my drive for writing. I'm like you keep at this and you keep doing it, throughout your teens and
Mhm.
20s. I'm like this could be your career. And she's really
Yeah.
excited and I told her she wants to write, but also thinks that it's boring. She'd rather read, which I'm happy that she wants
Mhm.
to read. But it's like, I know what you mean about the whole, oh, if I can do it, they can do it kind of thing. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, the I love the Ghost book. You when you said Get Out, I remember I was thinking I was about to say Get Out, Us, and Nope. I love Jordan Peele movies so
Yeah.
much. They the first time I saw one, I told my wife, I said, I think that was a racial horror. And she goes, it was. And I was like, I love those.
Yeah.
I'm like, he does a good job.
He
And
did he did a wonderful job.
oh yeah, The Ghosts of Poplar Valley. I got to read that.
But
That's on Amazon?
the it's on Kindle.
Kindle. Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the ones where I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want to do with it. But yeah, it's but even Get Out, I mean, he said a lot of that inspiration came from what was it, the 1970s Stepford Wives and Rosemary's Baby. Like
Oh,
those were the two big influences on like how he set up the story that he
oh,
wanted to tell. As a matter of fact, the Stepford Wives in particular, you saying, and I've only seen the more recent one, though I think it was in the 90s, which
yeah,
is a little bit different. It was more comedic, but I think the main character in the Stepford Wives was a photographer as well, just like Chris Washington out of Get Out.
yeah.
So that's like it's a direct parallel to those sorts of things. So I'd say watching those, especially I've seen Rosemary's Baby, and watching that, I was like, okay, I could see where he was, what he was going for when he was getting all this.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'll have to watch those now. Stepford Wives and Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, Rosemary's Baby in particular because it was very culty.
Yeah, I've
Um,
seen Rosemary's Baby. I've never seen Stepford Wives.
yeah, I have it on my list. I have an ever increasing list of old horror movies that I haven't seen, that I want to start pulling from.
Oh yeah, I know how you feel there. Too
Yeah,
many. There's too many movies. I
any good ones. There was a lot of good stuff that
Oh
people were
yeah.
doing.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
What's the latest book you have out?
So I have a collection that I just put out called um, "It Speaks from Darkness," and so I'm setting it up as like uh sort of its own anthology series. So it's a collection. Um, so that is a collection, and there's 5 stories and a little forward where I talk about some of my writing journey. But the past year, I'd signed up to do a bunch of readings, and rather than reading from existing work that I had, I would write a new story that
Yeah.
would fit in the reading. So if it was, say, a 5-minute reading, I would write like a dark fiction story for 5 minutes, a 5-minute story.
Oh,
Or I would read like if it's a 15-minute thing, then I'd make sure I'd have a 15-minute story. And so I was just writing these like mini stories um for different readings. Or I think there was only one where I had already written it, but it was a poem that I had put in. It was a horror poem that I had submitted for a competition, and I read that. And that got into the book too. So it's basically like these are the collection of the things I did for readings in the last year. And I'm still putting in other things for readings like in the future,
yeah.
with the hope that it keeps lighting a fire to write new stuff, and then maybe that'll go into the next collection, and then another collection, and then another collection. So
Oh yeah. Yep.
yeah, so I've been taking it as a challenge to um, see how far I can take this thing and how many different stories I can write and what sort of things I can put into it. Hopefully there'll be another collection. Hopefully by next year,
Oh
if
yeah.
I if I
It sounds
actually if I
like it.
actually get well, I got to get off my ass and actually sign up for these things so that I could start writing this new work.
I keep telling myself because I picked the movie You're Next. I picked I think Aaron Harson from You're Next. I think that's how you say her name. From You're Next
Mhm.
as my final girl.
Okay,
Because she's like a survivalist badass. And I was like, that's got to be the one I pick.
I like it.
And I keep telling myself, you got to watch Your Next, even though you've seen it 20 times.
Yeah,
And it takes some notes. I
yeah.
yeah, this essay thing, I don't know about you. I'm excited and anxious because I've never really taken part in like an essay about a like the thing we're doing.
Oh yeah, this is new for me too, but
Oh,
it should
okay.
be really really fun.
Oh yeah.
So I picked there were some that I wanted to pick. They got picked by other people. But I picked Amelia from the Babadook. So the mom from the Babadook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
So I do too. And then I went back and I said, you know what? I really liked that movie and I liked her character. And I went back and watched it again because I want to do it for this. And I was like, this is way darker than I remembered it, especially because I watched it before becoming a father and then now after.
Yeah.
And it's like it's even worse. Like it's even crazier now just thinking about like watching everything that was going on and catching a lot of the details. I was like, yo, this is like I'm glad it gave me a chance to rewatch that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I that first time I saw that movie it was trippy.
Yeah.
Seeing that thing and the little book the kids got and it's I don't know, there's like every time I put that movie in there's like a lens over my eyes that takes me out of the real world and puts me in the movie and it's this darkness. But I
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Even when you think that it's over, it's not really over.
Oh no. I
Yeah.
uh I normally ask a bunch of questions around like the last 10 minutes of the
Mm.
podcast, but I'm trying to change it up a little bit, so I just want to keep talking.
That's all
Um
good.
yeah, I don't know. I've one of the people that I had on the podcast, I was talking to him just about books and stuff. And I said, "What should I said that I don't know, the podcast feels a little I got to switch something up." And he's like, "Cut the questions out. Just talk." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "All right." Um but
Yeah.
yeah, I got to tell you, it's really inspiring that you started the self-publishing in 2022.
Yes.
Wow. And you now how many do you when did you start going to book conventions? Was this is one Bloody Valentine obviously wasn't your first one.
Yeah. The first one I did was AuthorCon, and that was not last year before, so 2024. So April of 2024, when I went to my first AuthorCon, was kind of the beginning of everything.
Okay.
And then I started, that's when I got to meet a lot of people, got to see a lot of the names, a lot of the personalities, went to their panels, learned a lot about more about craft. Um, and then that's how I started going to everything after that.
Oh.
So that's kind of the general move was
Now
it's only been a couple of years. It hasn't even been 2 years since I've been going to.
AuthorCon's in New York City, right?
No, AuthorCon is in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that's right. Royal told me that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. There was another one in New York City. I forgot what it was called. One of the women at Bloody Valentine, she told me that she does something, sets up an event every year and something in New York City. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to remember. I forget the name. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Hmm.
But yeah, New York looks really cool. I've been meeting up with a lot of different folks. Now that I've gone to the My Bloody Valentine in New York, I got to meet folks from New York City. Um, Like it's a vibrant. I mean, there's a lot of vibrant communities in New York City. It's big enough to do all that,
Yeah.
but it's always kind of difficult to find out like who the people are. And I got to meet a couple of the folks that are there. So
Yeah.
I'm hopefully looking forward to finding out more about what's going on. Um, Especially because it's so close, right? I mean, it's relatively close. I think it's like a 4 hour trip if I wanted to get there.
Yeah. That is crazy. You're Because if you look at a map of the
Mm,
US and you look where I am,
mm,
so how to where like New York City is, and then where you are to where New York City is, you said you got a 4 hour drive, and it's like mine is probably maybe 5, 6 hours maximum
mm.
to New York City. And it's like for me, I'm here and it's way down here, and you're just right here, and it looks like it's so close, but it's
Yeah,
so far. Um, it's like, oh, I can't find any author conventions that are like within like 100 miles of me. And when I do, it's like something that somebody my wife knows who's like setting one up for like a local fair or something like that. And then
mm.
they find out there that I'm a local author and they want to invite me. Other than that, it's like I gotta travel like 4 or 5 hours for them, which it drives me nuts, but it's worth it.
There was a convention or something that came up. I couldn't do it. It's in upstate New York, and I'd found it, but I couldn't do it because I think it conflicted with something else I was doing.
Oh,
But there's websites and stuff where like they consolidate what are all the horror conventions across like the Eastern Seaboard. So
oh wow.
there was stuff in New York, there was stuff in New Jersey, um, stuff in Maryland, obviously, Virginia. Like I was looking up some of the stuff, North Carolina. There was like a big list of it somewhere, and I need to find that. But I could have sworn there was one that I saw that was in upstate. I'll find it. I'll find it at some point. But yeah, there are people who like they dedicate themselves to doing this, where they try
Yeah,
to find where all the things are.
yeah.
Um, and as long as people actively submit it to that site, then usually you can find something.
Nice. What I love about this episode is I gotta say this because like thank you so much. One of the things besides people discovering authors on here that they haven't heard before is also authors coming on here, seeing this, and then maybe even getting advice from us just talking about it. Um, that's what I love. I feel like this is the first episode where it's more an advice thing, um, which I love. But yeah, oh, I love it so much. I am
I
so
love talking
happy.
about this stuff.
I am so happy that yeah, I love to. I don't know
Mhm.
about you. I could sit and talk for 6, 7 hours to authors about just writing and all this stuff in general. It is so much fun. Um, but yeah, I gotta tell you, I am both jealous and happy for you
This is-
that you started like 3, 4 years ago, like the publishing aspect, the writing you've been doing a long time. But the fact that you did that like so recently and you've been doing this good, like that's awesome. I'm happy for you.
I don't know if I'm saying thinking I'm doing this good. Um, that first book took 6 years. So if you count the time it took to get the first book done, um, 6 years of writing and then 4 years of sort of being out there. But I also lean on the fact that I am very fortunate to be geographically positioned with a lot of great writers who are near a lot of really great events
Yeah,
and have connections to a lot of that stuff. So I wouldn't necessarily put it in those terms, which is
yeah,
why I would say that community is the biggest. If if you're really trying to push into this, then the community is going to be your biggest strength, right? So really going
yeah,
out there, meeting folks, and then passing on that information to other people who may otherwise need it, like being able to create a nice, healthy community. Because a lot of the stuff is just like, hey, have you heard of this? Do you want to do it? It
yeah,
really is just me being somewhere and someone saying, hey, this is here, or being even in the right Facebook group at times to just say like, "Hey, I'm putting out this call for short stories," right? And then just
Yeah.
really like attacking those things that a lot of folks may not be doing, but that you might have the time to do, and then just saying, "Hey, let's see what happens. If it doesn't get picked up, at least I have a new story that's sitting around somewhere, and I can do something with it later." But at
Yeah.
least challenging myself.
It's really quick. The thing's
Yeah.
about to end.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to do really a part two. I just want to continue for a few more minutes talking, and then I'm just gonna piece the parts together.
Okay.
But it's gonna end in a minute. I'm trying to get the the upgrade to Pro thing. It's driving me nuts trying to do it, but yeah, I want to talk for a few minutes with. There we go. All right, we're back.
Cool.
I yeah, it's so I was doing like part twos if I want to talk to somebody longer. And I don't know. I've decided enough with the part twos. I just want if I'm gonna continue longer, I'll just piece it together. Um, but yeah, back to what you were talking to because I was really interested in it.
Oh, I've already
We can
what was the second
remember.
point? Was it talking about the different websites that have all the different
Yeah,
conventions? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I like I said, community is everything. So leaning heavily on a community to have your back and then using the strength you're able to get out of that to then help other people move in is going to be extremely important. It's not necessarily everybody's bag to lean on a community, and that's fine. Um, but I have found that that's the best place to find a lot of writing opportunities,
yeah,
competitions, collaborations, anything that can challenge you from a creative standpoint to get better
yeah,
and also get your name to a lot of different places, even when you're not there. So people who are selling the, if they want to sell um, anthologies, that's your work being put out to somebody else that has no idea who you are. So they're just coming into contact with who you are, you know, through somebody else being able to do that. And we can all do that for each other if we're collaborating on these different things. So,
oh yeah. The essay that Matt's putting together,
mm.
the Final Girl project, is that going to be like an anthology thing or is that what is that going to be?
Yeah, I think it's a nonfiction anthology piece, right? So everybody's talking about their, particular, what their opinions are on that, and basically just like an essay collection, essentially.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to be a part of that. This is the first time I'm a part of anything with any authors besides this little
Sounds
collab
good.
I'm doing with the guy from Ohio. But yeah,
Mm.
it is very exciting. And believe it or not, that you are doing great. I mean, you said 20 books at My
Yeah,
Bloody Valentine. That's impressive.
I appreciate it.
I sold six and I don't know, I was
Yeah,
like, wow. The guy Jeff next to me, he's like six is good. It could have been zero, and it's like true. He's like people have sold zero, and I
it could
was like,
be.
oh wow,
Okay, so I did Dark Drafts. The first year that they had it was in 2024.
it's called
No,
what?
sorry, 2025. Dark Drafts.
Dark
It's
Draft.
a festival in Mountjoy, Pennsylvania,
Oh, okay.
at the Boobies Brewery in Mountjoy. Um, so in 20, so this is 26. Yeah, so in 25 was their first inaugural one. And I sold okay, but so to give you context, I was sitting next to Clay McLeod Chapman.
Is
He was
is
at
that is
he
that
was
a
at my
big
Bloody Valentine.
author?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I was gonna
He
say.
was he was at Bloody Valentine. He was actually a little bit away from me.
Oh,
And he was sitting next to me. They were like, we have to move some of these tables around, and I said, look, it's just me. I have a very simple setup. I'll move wherever you want. It's like, okay, we're gonna put you here, and they put me next to Clay McLeod Chapman. He had just been profiled in the New York Times like 3 days before the event
oh wow.
for his latest book, Wake Up and Open Your Eyes, and
Wait
he
a
had
minute.
that.
He had the hat on. kind of like sideways, like styled sideways, right?
Yes,
The
yes.
older guy, really tall.
Yep, very tall, glasses with a beard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he was next to me and he's been doing all this work in writing novels. He has done comic book work. He's done all this stuff and he had all of it with him while he was there. Um and I had I think three or four titles that were there. And I think I sold maybe six or seven books at the time, right? It wasn't a ton. I sold a decent amount. And then sitting next to him, like he sold everything. He sold his entire table.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, every comic book he had was sold, every novel was sold, everything that he brought, he went home with nothing. So it's and that's from last year until now to get from
Yeah.
like six to being able to do like 20, right? So um it's a process. You just go through the work that you would with anybody else, and you're always going to find people at different levels who are putting out different stuff. Um But the big thing for me was like, I'm gonna go talk to Clay because he's been obviously been doing this longer than I have. Being able to have some conversations with him around that and talk to him about like process craft, all that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then with all the other authors that were in the little enclave that I was in, we talked a lot about, how are you guys doing? How are you selling? Looking at people's setups, understanding like how the flow of their table looks, what works and what doesn't work. It's all different forms of marketing and craft and different levels, right? So it's just a process. You have
Yeah.
to you can't avoid the process. You can't skip the line on that process.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who would ever try to skip the line loses all of the valuable lessons from being in it. So you
It's
just
what
got to keep pushing.
a lot of people don't realize. It isn't just writing the book, it's marketing it.
It's marketing it, it's connecting with people,
Oh, yeah.
it is finding out who your allies are, um, and who will be your best bet in trying to get all that stuff out. But you have six novels. I mean, that is yeah, I have one novella and then a couple of collections. Then I have obviously all the anthologies. You've got six novels, six things that you wrote that you completed.
Yeah.
So you're ahead of the game in a lot of ways.
I
Um,
don't know if you noticed, I only brought two of them to the convention. The other ones, I was just feeling so iffy about them. And then my wife's like, you should have brought them. And I'm
People
like,
love to see all the titles. They like a nice full table.
yeah, I've got one now. It's let's see if I can. My wife just bought me this. So it's
Oh, yay.
yeah, it's got all my books on it.
That's really nice. Oh, they look
Yeah,
good. I like those covers.
yeah, I finally got that, so I'm gonna bring that to my I'm going to the next one in October. And then I got two in October. One of them's the Fright Reads, and then I got one a Christmas themed one in December. So I'm
Oh, nice.
yeah, I've got three more planned for this year. I'm really trying to get my name out there the best that I can. It's a challenge, but I enjoy it. So it's the fact that you've got all that stuff like around like Maryland. I It's got me wanting to move down there because oh, I want to just be around it all.
Well, you're plugged into you said you work with somebody in Ohio. There's a huge contingency of Ohio writers.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I got to start doing more research.
I have to remember who's there. I know John Ward is in Ohio.
I've never heard of
Are you
them.
familiar with his work? So he did, do you know Scareville? Like that series?
Scared.
Um,
No.
it's like the middle grade. It's almost like Goosebumps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he did that, but he just put out another title called A Blackened Heart, A Blackened Soul, which apparently is getting really big reviews from a lot of the people in the community. Like they really, really enjoy it. It's his first really big adult horror. Um, and people really like it. So it's on my TBR as well. I have it on the list. I have a TBR that's 4 boxes high and all the stuff that's on my Kindle. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best move of getting it all done.
Yeah.
But yeah, uh he's a big name that's there too. So if you ever get a chance to meet him, he's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. Caught up with him for a little bit. He's a really cool dude. So if you get a chance to meet him, I don't know if he's going to be at AuthorCon, but he's around, so
Okay.
he comes out to see. But yeah, you're already plugged into a lot of the stuff in Ohio. I mean, I would ask your collaborator to say like, hey, what are the
Yeah.
sort of things you have going out there? I would strongly advise like that would be a really, really good move.
Okay.
Start driving out there, start going to conventions there, get your name out.
Okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
all the, I don't know, just the advice. I appreciate it. I normally when I bring people on here, we all we do is talk about their books and I ask them like 10 questions and I
Mhm.
feel I feel like you've just been giving me advice, but thank you. I like that.
Oh no,
Um,
listen, I love yapping about this sort of stuff.
Me too. Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. It's I can never shut up about it. I drive my wife crazy about writing, which she likes, but oh, I never stop. Um, so
Well,
you've
she got you the
got
rack. That was really great.
yeah, she got me that. I was really excited when I saw that. It's oh, she did so much. She did the QR codes for the book convention. She did a bunch of stuff. Um,
Oh.